This episode is sponsored by Shutterstock.com with over 20 million high-quality stock photos, illustrations, vectors, and video clips. Shutterstock helps you take your creative projects to the next level for 30% off of your brand new account. Go on over to Shutterstock.com and use offer code GAMEBREAKER5. Dun 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 dun. I'm Gary Gadden. You're watching Game Breaker. Conspiracy Craft Episode 4 for May 9th, 2013. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Conspiracy Craft. We eat ribs with this dude. We're going to talk about the current patch 5.2 and talk about the Mogu and the lore discrepancies. Shame on lore discrepancies.
Shame on lore.
Lore needs to, yes, lore needs to get its discrepancy in action. All right, joining me today from WoW Insider and Game Breaker is legendary, of course, it's Olivia D. Grace. What's up, Liv?
Hi, I'm feeling conspiratorial and also crafty.
Do you have your discrepancies in place?
My discrepancies are in place. Yes, I am fully discrepancied. All systems a go.
They cut him at McDonald's, you know that?
I'd heard that they ate ribs with that dude. Are ribs available at McDonald's? Is that where they
Have you never had the McRib? It's a dead giveaway. Dead. Yeah.
Giveaway. My neighbor got big testicles because we see this dude every day.
Apparently he's got big testicles as well. And from Gamebreaker TV right here on the Conspiracy Craft, it's Adrian, aka Missy. Hello.
Hello. I'm so glad the rain isn't coming over the mic. Yay! Storms.
That'd be great. Well, we're gonna get little Tweety birds pretty soon on the legendary. So
yeah, really,
Tweety birds.
It's third time. It's the morning hour with legendary.
Missy, have you ever had the McRib?
Have you ever had a McRib, Missy?
I've
never had a
nightmares
McRib
about it though.
Have you ever had, neither of you have ever had the McRib?
No.
Wow.
I wasn't aware of its existence until now.
It's actually not really available all the time. They bring it back like once a year. It's like a big event. Like people rush out to eat.
They're like, oh my god, the McRib.
It's like a fake piece of rib meat just slathered in bad barbecue sauce or just fake meat.
Bones in it?
Yeah, it has bones. That's
rib.
it. Yeah, it's baby back ribs with bones on a bun. You just eat it like a man.
How do you eat ribs in a bun? How you just eat it like Fred Flintstone, basically. That's what you're saying.
It doesn't have bones. No.
Oh, okay. I was totally believed you. So gullible, my god.
McDonald's got sued for like hot coffee. Do you think you're gonna leave bones in their ribs? Here's a McRib sandwich. Choke on a bone.
On top of the "we need a hot" sign on our coffee cup.
We eat ribs with this dude, but we didn't have the glue that girl put in that house. She said,
"Shit, please help me get out." All right. So let's talk about the Mogu origins. So patch 5.2 released back that was like early March, revealing that the Zandalari were working with the nefarious Mogu. We've covered the possible future for the Zandalari. That was actually our first. Wow, that's so long ago. That was episode 1. Yeah. So long ago, guys. Episode 1, our first Conspiracy Craft.
It's actually my first article.
It was the article. It wasn't even a show.
Yeah,
so long ago.
Yeah.
So go back and read that.
Dude.
But the Mogu were the first to have lore issues, though, right? What's up with the Zandalari? What was up back then with their issues?
So that article was to clear up some rumors that this might be the last that Warcraft players would actually see of the Zandalari. It was mostly because of a specific achievement, which was the last end of the Zandalari for LFR, stuff like that. And I'm still a little sad that Kosak killed part of my theory in that article with the dev Q&A.
Meanie.
Bye-bye, cat. But that article was to clear up that there was more coming from the trolls, basically. And the Zandalari are helping out the Mogu in the Throne of Thunder.
Yeah, exactly. So, because you've got you go into the Throne of Thunder, and even on the island, you've got all the sort of the Mogu just hanging out around there, doing their thing in Court of Bones, and it's kind of all mixed in with the Zandalari. And yeah, that it's kind of it makes you wonder. They're like, where exactly have the Mogu even come from? Were they there all the time? What's their deal? Where did the Mogu actually originate from?
Well, according to the Pandaren, they called them a race of brutes who stumbled upon the magical powers in the water of the Veil of Eternal Blossom. But when patch 5.2 released, we discovered they were in fact Titan constructs who were exposed to the curse of flesh. So the difference between the two is that one is from the Pandaren knowledge that they have during their enslavement. So all the people that have pointed out the archaeology, lore description that's in the skill, that's not developer knowledge, but it's non-playable character knowledge. So, from Bronzebeard or Warwalker Cho. And it wasn't until the players ventured into the Isle of Thunder where we really learned where the Mogu started. And that was especially shown with Lorewalker's story, Gods and Monsters, that we discovered that they were really the children of the gods, thus Titan created.
Okay, so the Titans created the Mogu, they created the earthen mechanomes, Tolvir, the Vrekel. I never know how to say that.
Right, cool.
Those guys, the ones that are really hard to pronounce. Those guys,
those bros.
Yeah, those bros.
Right,
God,
cool.
And so they created a ton of other races, but. What makes the Mogu different from the other Titan races? Or are they kind of the same thing? Is it not much difference?
In Gods and Monsters, the Mogu were the stone that helped shape the world, and they were also the forces that fought against the old gods, where the Earthen and the Vrykul were supposed to be the seeds of life Titan creations. So the Mogu were actually much more similar to the Tolvir in that they had a protection program.
Okay.
So we can't exactly pinpoint a specific time in Azeroth history when the Curse of Flesh really started, but when it was among the Mogu, that program, as well as the shadow of the dead old god Yasiraj, caused a massive change. They had emotions, this really strong desire to fight, which again goes back to that protection program from fighting the old god forces, and with no outlet, they turn on each other like the orcs in their bloodlust, but this was mostly due to the fact that they lacked a strong hand to control them since their master Wrathion was silent.
All right, so the Mogu are fighting Mogu, and probably anything else, I would say, in the surrounding area, because what? Because Master Wrathion is silent, basically. I mean, you think someone would rise up and basically take control at that point.
There were actually several Mogu who generally took like-minded Mogu. Come on, it's basic biases, and we all flock to people of the same mind, and that's what the Mogu did. So they started forming war clans, and it was during this, as they call it, the Age of 100 Kings, that Lei Shen, the Thunder King, was born.
Wait, born? Hang on, okay. If he was born, and my grasp of human biology is tentative, my grasp of Mogu biology...
Not maybe a little less,
I'm not a Mogu biologist, but correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a slight shortage of lady Mogu. There's a slight shortage of the ladies. It's kind of like the Smurfs, I've seen two. There's the twin consorts, and that's kind of it. It's like the Smurfs just have that one lady, and the Mogu just have two ladies. So,
where are all the Mogu women at? Where are all the Mogu women
at?
Where
are all the Mogu ladies? Where are all the Mogu ladies at? What's going on? Are we missing something here?
So this goes back to the Curse of Flesh. See, the curse actually affected all the Titan-made creations differently. It's like the Earthen turned into dwarves, the Mechanomes supposedly turned into gnomes, Tolvir lost their wings, the Vrykul started producing smaller babies that are now called the humans, and a majority of them just lost that stone skin and flesh. And since the Mogu weren't part of the Life Seed program, I feel there was something wrong with their fleshy genetic makeup.
That Mogu biology, man. That Mogu biology.
Here's a moment. So we
I
go
don't know. I'm a
back.
little bit scared about the fleshy genetic makeup. It kind of made me a little uncomfortable. But keep going.
Well, do you remember Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
Everybody remembers Jurassic Park, right? So they talked about how they spliced the dinosaur DNA with a frog species, and that species could change genders for adaptation. So dinosaurs having babies. So with that in mind, I know this is really far-fetching. If you notice with a lot of the Titan creations, they're all male in appearance, except for the Vrykul, because they're special and they didn't have any other program. They were just creatures made to like inhabit Azeroth. But the Earthen and the Mechanome, they all, when they turned into the dwarves and gnomes respectively, somehow they were females.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, ladies, where have you guys been hiding out?
I actually had somebody tweet me saying that it was just a socket gem bonus for making females.
This is why I am so afraid of Monsanto. Okay, go ahead.
So basically, this could explain why there's so few female Mogu. They're just part of that. They just weren't part of that life program. So that makes Lei Shen even more special in a sense. But if this is Azeroth we're talking about, there's magic in this world. It's possible he was born of magic instead of a natural birth. And just a small tidbit, adulthood is marked differently between all the different races of Azeroth. It's possible that after so many years, he was finally deemed an adult by Mogu standards. I mean, gnomes are still in their teens when they're 20s.
What?
What?
What is that?
How does that work?
20s are not teens. How does that make any sense? Gnomes?
Tween teeth.
Tweens? 20s is not teens. Why are gnomes still in their teens? Or are they their 20s?
Wait a minute. And also,
They look like they're 80 when they're born.
Yeah. They're like the ones with the bald heads and the moustaches. You don't have a moustache when you're a teenager. I mean, well, maybe you do if you're a gnome.
Maybe they have that. What's that disease? Progerio? What was it called? Something like that?
Let's just say a lot. Progeria?
Yeah. What is that? Kick the bottom.
You know the disease.
What is the disease where you're like a baby, but you look like you're like 80 years old? Maybe that's the problem with gnomes.
Yeah.
Progeria?
Yeah, there it is.
It's like Brad Pitt had.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's what it is. Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt. That's Brad Pitt and World of Warcraft gnomes have something in common. All right. At least we have a title for the show.
Yeah.
All right, I want to talk more about Lei Shen, but really quick, I got to tell you guys about an amazing deal we got going on with Shutterstock. Have you guys checked out Shutterstock? Do you know what Shutterstock is? Are you guys familiar with Shutterstock? No?
It's
yes, no?
stock art, right?
Yeah.
It's like a huge collection of stock art and icons and everything.
This is like our secret weapon. So when we're working on new websites and stuff, no, it really is. Like we're launching 2 new sites. So we're launching the Gamebreaker Nation. And seriously, like Liv, we could talk about this. When I started working on the new Gamebreaker Nation site, within about an hour, I sent all you guys a version of the website. And all of a sudden, it looked like it was awesome already, and everybody was like, "Holy crap, this looks great!" 1 hour into it, and they were like, "How did you do it?" And I went to Shutterstock, and like that's what you do. So you go over to Shutterstock. You can't hire a web designer. Who's got money for that? Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Anybody got time for the money for the web designer?
Fantasy landscape.
All the web designers out there are yelling at me right now. They're like, "No, stop telling people to go to Shutterstock." But this is the truth. This is where I go. Oh, I know. That's what I mean. You go to Shutterstock and you look stuff up and you're like, "Oh, I need a cool background for my website."
Oh
you're
my gosh, that is amazing.
Right?
Wow.
This is how you make your website look awesome. This is seriously how you make your website look awesome. Like we're launching a new website and we needed icons for all the for the navigation. What did I do? Came to Shutterstock. Let's see what happens. Let's see. I'm just making this up on the fly. Probably not supposed to make this up on the fly, but I'm making it up on the fly. Let's see. Shield icons. Shield icons. Oh, look.
So just a few then. There's a slight short. I mean, obviously, they've only got so many thousands.
Couldn't make those. And you know how much, like, if I hired an artist to make these things would probably cost me? It'd be like out of control. So I'm very happy to have Shutterstock. I've been using them actually for years. I've been creating websites forever with these guys. And for new accounts, if you guys make a new account right now, when to check out, if you just use Gamebreaker5 as your promo code, Gamebreaker and the number 5, they can give you 30% off, which is like their largest discount they've ever given. So if you need like stock photography, There's vectors, illustrations, people drawing stuff, which are awesome, even in footage, stock footage as well. And if you have a personal website, blog, whatever you got going, this is the way to make it look like a pro. Put it together. Just go over to Shutterstock.com. Use GameBreaker5. Get 30% off. All right, let's get back to Lei Shen here. All right, so Lei Shen apparently, possibly, maybe had a mother or Monsanto. I'm not really sure. And somehow becomes the biggest baddie in Pandaria. So how the F does that happen? Like, seriously.
So the stories of the Mogu's former glory was probably bedtime stories for all little Mogu pups. And he probably grew up with that being a huge influence on him. So by the time Lei Shen's an adult, basically, or teen, or whatever they want to call him, not a child, the minds of the Mogu might have adapted enough that he could have had a decent enough grasp mentally to do something about it. Because they all remember, we fought against old gods, we did this for the Titans, we had a master that told us what we were doing. So this is where the story gets a little complicated. In the Lore Walker Scrolls, for Gods and Monsters, they say he went into the very heart of Thundering Mountain, which is now the Isle of Thunder. In the Dungeon Journal, for Wrathion, it says he went deep into the Mogu vaults.
Are you going to be wearing a red shirt at this BlizzCon?
Why are you wearing a red shirt now?
Specifically.
Yeah, if you can wear a red shirt, we can get you to stand up and ask these questions. Like, excuse me. Dungeon Journal. So, all right, big discrepancy there.
Yeah, I'm actually automatically assuming that the Dungeon Journal is wrong because Wrathion's information was terribly blundered for being a secret. So, not even going to acknowledge the Dungeon Journal information. In fact, I actually got a hold of Sean Copeland yesterday, and he was able to answer my question over Twitter, and he stated that the lore I've gone off comes from the Sacred Mountain, that he says he went to the Thundering Isle, or Thundering Mountain, i.e., which is the Isle of Thunder now. So, yay! I got Blizzard response!
You actually redshirted so hard that one of the head historians of Blizzard tweeted you back.
Yes, I do that a lot.
Pretty much.
I can't help it.
I actually like that that's a term that you just redshirted so hard.
That is going to be the coin term. I'm going to take that, Liv. Okay, thanks.
Do it. No probs.
Okay, so we're not paying attention to the Dungeon Journal. So he journeys into the heart of this mountain where the Mogu's masters slept, and he rips out the heart of the Titan Watcher, Wrathion.
So wait, hang on. He literally, this dude rocks up. Like, okay, so it took methods, like how long to get to Wrathion, and then it took them how long to kill him? I mean, okay, they had limited attempts. Did he not have limited attempts? Was that not in yet?
I don't think he wiped.
He didn't wipe. He did what that Asian guild did. He just rocked up, he CC'd the ads, and it's just like, pop, heart. Sucks to be you, dude. Like, what? How does a Mogu just like rock up and be like, hey, I stole your heart? It's like Kill Bill or something. What?
So, from the sound files we had before patch 5.2 was released, Wrathion had mentioned a waking nightmare. So, this could explain the silence on his side. And it's possible N'Zoth, the old god who was in charge of the nightmare, reached out and forced several of Pandaria's Titan Watchers into sleep. We know that he reached out across most of Azeroth, according to Emerald Dreams, or was it another book that I can't remember? There was another one. So many books. 18 books, guys. I can't keep them straight. So it would make some sense with what is discovered in the heart of Pandaria as well for N'Zoth to specifically target Pandaria Titan Watchers, basically. So Wrathion's woken by Lei Shen, and they have like this big, huge, fierce battle, basically. And Lei Shen's victorious, and he claims his reward by like taking the heart of his god. But it doesn't exactly explain how he succeeded. And to be honest, like, would you fight at your best if you're still half asleep? I mean, that's my theory at least. You're just woken up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that doesn't really explain a huge amount about like Lei Shen and Wrathion and how he really succeeded. But I don't know. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Missy, but it seems like there's a bit of a lack of real information there on Blizzard's part, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
It's bizarre. I mean, okay, so anyhow, what did Lei Shen do after becoming the Thunder King? Like, he's got the heart. It's like, right, Thunder King. Now what?
Yeah. They say that he united the currency and language of Pandaria. He enslaved the other races in Pandaria, like the Pandaren and the Jinyu, and made Saurochs, which, again, there's some weird discrepancy there where it's like, oh, we mutated basilisks to make Saurochs, and then other people are sitting there saying, no, it was this goo that's from Wrathion that made the
Damn, Monsanto
Sauroch.
is
Primordius, right?
all up in World of Warcraft. It's all about mutating and genetics and just splicing DNA.
It's like, I love that to-do list as well. It's like, my to-do list, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to unite the currency and language of Pandaria. That's going to be the first thing. It's like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. Mm-hmm. It's like, right, then I'm going to enslave all the other races. And they're like, right? You're going to enslave every other race. Okay, yeah. Cool. And and I'm going to build a really huge wall. It's like, okay. You're going to build an arbitrary positioned wall kind of in the middle. Okay, cool. Oh, and then I'm going to mutate basilisks and goo into Sauron. Like, wow, dude. Really? We started off with language and currency, and now we're mutating goo.
Yeah. Everything for that whole base program that they have of basically protecting the heart of Pandaria. So, like, he built not only the Serpent Spine Wall, like you said, but he built the Mogu vaults and his palace on the Isle of Thunder. He had a lot of slaves. He had a lot of time.
He had a lot of slaves. He'd have had to have a lot of slaves.
And it left, like, quite the legacy behind upon his death.
Yeah, sure. That his death is an interesting one, actually, because even, like, there's the quest in Kunlai Summit where the Zandalari, like, you're trying to stop well, maybe not both sides, but I haven't done the Horde side, obviously.
It's both sides.
It's both sides. It's the same on both sides. Cool, I knew you knew this. But, like, they discover his remains, and you're trying to stop them getting to his remains, and then they're like, oh, too late, derp. There you go, look, they're already doing this thing. And they resurrect him,
exactly.
don't they?
Yeah, it was really nice teaser for 5.2 release and stuff like that if you did those quests, but
yeah,
it's like the big ed for Lei Shen at the very end is that Wrathion asked for Lei Shen's heart for some shiny legendaries. Here's the legendary, go get it. And then when he gets the heart, he eats it to keep the Thunder King from being resurrected again.
Wow. Wow, Wrathion.
I love eating hearts. Missy, follow her on Twitter. Hey, she needs Twitter followers. We haven't done this. Twitter shout out. For Missy.
I gotta thank somebody real quick. It's Solar Flare from Convert to Raid actually offered this topic for discussion because he saw it and thought of me. Thank you,
Solar Flare.
Big shout out to Solar Flare. Follow Little Missy 4205. Follow her on Twitter. She needs to pump the Twitter followers up. Do it right there. Do it right there. Do it right now.
I like 450.
All right. Well, we need to get you should get over 1,000. If you just everybody right now, just go follow her right now, and I'll just leave it up. just get over 1,000. Libby D. Grace, you can follow her at Little Missy 4205 as well.
Yes, that is also my Twitter handle now. Missy and I are making a Twitter cooperative. So follow me on Little Missy 4205.
You can follow me at Little Missy as well, 4205. Little Missy 4205, and you can follow this hero as well. At McDonald's. All right, we'll do Conspiracy Craft. I don't know, whenever we feel like doing it during the week. So just pay attention to Twitter. You pay attention to Little Missy 4205's Twitter, and I'm sure you'll find out when we're doing Conspiracy Craft. Isn't that right, Missy?
Exactly.
A lot of the times, yeah.
And you probably also get to suggest topics for future ones.
Oh yeah.
Yes. That'd be great.
I have a topic
there. I don't have the next one.
There you go.
I'll figure it out.
On Twitter. Follow her on Twitter and send her topics for Conspiracy Craft.
All right, everybody. Have a great week. Another episode of Conspiracy Craft. We'll see you. Make sure to watch Legendary. Have a great week. See you next week.